we've been discussing building trust with our customers in an effort to increase customer labor sales, right? Getting that additional half hour per repair order. And the pyramid we discussed, the customer satisfaction pyramid, where the exceptional service experience is down bottom, plus the fix right first time gives us trust. And customer type, of course, so that we identify who's walking through the door and up to our counter. We prepared for their visit. We engage them at the counter. Maybe we use the customer problem analysis sheet to help engage them. I want to talk now about service counter selling. Because whether we're selling to the customer right now or whether we're going to bring the vehicle into the shop, diagnose it, and then sell to the customer, the skill set's basically the same. So let's talk about what selling is. People come to me and they say, hey, do you have any seminars on selling? Well, sure, but let me ask you this. What is selling? And what do you want to learn? I mean, what do you want to know? Certainly there's sales process. But let's back up a step and think about what sales really is. Some people would tell you sales is a relationship. And I would agree with that. I would ask this though. Why did you buy whatever you bought last? Even if it was a bottle of soda. Why did you buy that soda? Did you not have knowledge about that soda? Did you not know what the soda tasted like? Did you not know what the soda would do for you? Did you not know you liked the soda? You had knowledge about that soda, right? Knowledge is where sales come from. So in that light, using that framework, let's talk about the transaction that goes on up here. When that customer comes through your door, the industry reputation is in their mind. The fact that this is an inconvenient thing to do is in their mind. And the fact that they're a little bit out of control might be in their mind. Remember, they need you, right? They can't do it themselves. So they're coming through that door to this counter and they need you, and it's going to cost them some money. They have to pay to need you. And they're expecting to get sold something. And I hear it all the time. Whenever my dad takes his car into that oil change place, they always sell him something he doesn't need. Well, why is there that perception that they sold him something he doesn't need? Maybe there's a lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge that he really did need that. So we need to impart knowledge to our customers. Knowledge as to why they need to purchase something, why it's necessary or why it's recommended. What tools do you have at your disposal in your shop to impart that knowledge to your customers? There's a ton of different tools available to you. And you can't just use one or two. You got to use the whole toolbox of tools to impart knowledge to your customers. We discussed earlier, in an earlier segment, show and tell. And how for some customer types, show and tell is really, really powerful. You bring them out to the shop and you provide them knowledge as to here's what your problem is, look at it. Here's what it's supposed to look like, look at it. Here's what we're going to make your car look like. Now, the customer, especially the visual learners, understand they have a picture. Bad, good, bad, good. Good, this is what my car's going to look like. They have the knowledge to decide whether they want to buy or not. Now, the second tool that you have at your disposal are maintenance menus. Think about it like this. Customer walks through the door, they feel very out of control, right? They feel like the control is not theirs. They need you. You present something like a preventative maintenance menu, or maybe it's a separate service maintenance menu board that you have, or a video display that you have. You present them with a menu, and you give them knowledge about that menu. For instance, preventative maintenance. Sir, this is the preventative maintenance recommended by the manufacturer of your vehicle. You have approximately this many miles on your vehicle. Here's what the manufacturer recommends. By doing this, you help keep your vehicle within warranty, you avoid long-term repair costs, and you extend the longevity of your vehicle. You just give them knowledge, didn't you? You give them knowledge, and now what can they do? Now you can turn that right around and you can say, would you like to do any of this today? And by asking them, you've just turned that control back to them, haven't you? Now you've put the ball back in their court. and they can look at that menu, they have the knowledge as to what it is and why it is, and they can decide. You gave them control. Anytime you can give the customer the control over the choice of what to purchase, you're going to have a sale. You're going to have a sale. Oftentimes they'll buy everything because they don't want to appear cheap, maybe. Sometimes they'll pick and choose based on their budget. And we'll talk more about that in the next segment. What other tools do you have to help with sales? If sales are knowledge, or sales is knowledge, maybe, what tools do you have to impart knowledge? Show and tell, maintenance menus, what else? Well, what about when show and tell doesn't work? Timing belt is the example I always use. Customers due for a timing belt, maybe based on mileage, maybe based on an engine noise that you hear. And explaining to them what a timing belt is. Connects the top of the engine to the bottom of the engine, goes round and round, doesn't run without it. Isn't enough. That doesn't really give a good picture. It's accurate, but it doesn't give a good picture. And you can't go out and remove a timing cover to show them because that's just impractical from a financial standpoint, a time standpoint. What do? Well, maybe you have parts. Maybe you have a used timing belt you could show them. You could show them a new versus an old timing belt. You could show them the camshaft sprocket, the crankshaft sprocket, and how the belt connects the two. Give them a visual. I've seen shops with parts carts with new and old parts on them so that you could pick those parts up and show the customer. They might not want to touch them because they're perceived as dirty, whether they are or not, but you can physically show them. And they get a visual image of it. You're imparting knowledge to that customer. The customer understands when they see, and they're more likely to purchase. What other tools do you have? Well, parts distributors and parts suppliers have all kinds of things at their disposal to demonstrate parts, both good and bad and worn and not worn, etc. Ask your parts representatives what tools they have available. Some have really cool animations that you can play on your terminal right there at the counter and explain to a customer, here's an image of a timing belt, here's the engine turning, here's your belt, here's what it does. You're imparting knowledge. Knowledge truly is power when it comes to sales. So I strongly encourage you to think outside the box about what tools you have at your disposal around your facility to impart that knowledge to your customers. Now in the next segment, we're going to talk about a really, really important tool, and that's the multi-point inspection form. And that's not only a sales tool, but it's also a relationship tool. So stay tuned for that.